Alright. I think we're working. It's been a hot minute since I've done any kind of streaming. Been a busy past month and a half or so. Doing all kinds of stuff in the summertime. Disc golf. Lots of disc golf. Anyways, welcome back if you're here, or if you're watching this after the fact. Thanks for joining. This is my homebrew project that is going to be Harry Potter themed pinball. So, I'm just going to kind of get back into it where I was at earlier today, and that is working on ramps. So, right now, let's go at top view. You can see in this back right corner I've got like a hub. It's like an old railroad turntable. That is going to be a multi-way diverter. There are 3 inlets, or 3 ramps that can feed it, as well as a VUC that can feed it in the back here. And then there are 1, 4, 5 possible exits, plus the VUC can also eat your ball. So, depending on the position of this diverter wall here, this arc kind of right in the middle of the platform, will determine the path of the ball. So in the state that it's in right now, if you shoot the right ramp, it'll feed all the way back around to this rear orbit ramp that feeds out the left orbit. You can also shoot that in reverse. If you shoot the left orbit, it'll feed up here and then down this ramp here. That's in the state that it's currently in. And then if you shoot this middle ramp, it'll feed right back down this ramp here. It might clunk around real briefly up here because it's going to dead end into that wall, but it'll drain back down this ramp. So, that's in that position. And then if you were to turn this, which I don't know if I can right now. Let's see. I might be able to turn that component. Give me a second. So if I were to rotate that into another position, which this one right here. Now if you shoot this left orbit, excuse me, which I just realized I have to manipulate this ramp a little bit, but if you shoot this left orbit ramp, it'll feed around the back side here, and then there's going to be a wire form that shoots down this right side and feeds your in lane at a high speed. Then if you shoot this middle ramp, that'll feed to this second option here, which is going to be a wire form, and that'll either cross over or it'll come down. I don't know yet where to go with that, but I'll figure that out eventually. And then if you shoot the right ramp, it'll feed down that same wire form I just talked about. In theory. It could bounce back down here, I'm not sure yet. And then if we turn this to the third position, which is this position here, Then if you shoot this left ramp, it'll come around and feed out this option here, which that'll feed the Hogwarts upper playfield. And then that also allows the Vuck to feed the Hogwarts playfield. And then one other thing to note, I said that you can also take the ball up into the Vuck, which will then put it into the subway and make it disappear, all that kind of stuff. That'll work. There'll be a magnet mounted above this turntable. Let me just cancel out of this real quick. There'll be a magnet mounted above it that will, in the center, you can kind of see the dotted circle there, that'll be able to fling the ball straight up and into the Vuck entrance back there. So it's the sorting hat diverter is what it's going to be. And with it being the sorting hat, I wanted to have a multi-way diverter that has so many different options and many different outcomes. So we'll see how that goes. But right now I am kind of mapping out the ramps to it and making sure that the ramps get high enough so that balls can pass underneath them, like you see right here. And then also back here where this center ramp comes up, it's got to be up high enough right about here. It took me forever to figure out how to do ramps and essentially a polyline in three-dimensional space that I can use as a rail. But after a lot of messing around, I finally figured out a way to do it. So you can see this ramp right here, which comes off of this upright flipper. That one I spent a lot of time figuring out. So that'll kind of curve into there, and then it'll do kind of a 180 type thing. And then that'll feed somewhere. So that's where we're at. I am going to, you noticed there's another Vuck right here. I gotta make sure this back ramp clears it. So I'm gonna mess with polyline on that. Make sure that we get it out far enough. Let's just bump this out like 1/4 inch. Then we'll do the same for this node here. And let's see how that looks. Closer. Do the same with nodes here. Just gotta delete the constraint that links it to that projected line there. A little bit of a pain trying to get this to let me select stuff. Let's bump this. Whoa. -1/4 inch. One of these times, I'm gonna get it. And we'll do the same with this one. Bump that. There we go. That should bump it out far enough to miss that. Now it does have a really sharp angle on it, which I don't want it to slow down the ball too much. We'll go that way 1/4 inch as well. And need to delete the constraint on that guy there. I'm trying to select just that constraint. I could just delete my projected geometry. I don't really need it anymore. That's on another sketch, so I can't really do that. That's what I was trying to select. Okay. I just really want this to have a nice gradual curve. That's probably close enough there. That should be pretty close. There. There's a nice gradual ramp. Alright. Excuse me. Well, I guess the next one that I'll work on is this middle ramp, and I already kind of started working on, I did the polylines for that. So there's those two there. That's kind of the shape of it. I'm gonna chop off part of the skirt and the ring on the pop bumper there. And I'm just gonna ride it close to the body of the pop bumper. Yeah, there's the poly lines. It's gonna be kind of steep, but I think it should be fine. It's pretty power shot right there. So let's work on, let's do the fun part. Roll back up to my sketches, turn those off. Then we're gonna do, not an extrude, wrong one. We're gonna do a sweep. And then show my sketches again. We're going to do path plus guide rail. So our path is going to be that, and our guide rail is going to be that one. And this is the fun. This is the errors that I get trying to do this. Try to do it with that one. Yeah, worked with that one. Okay. There is the base of that ramp, which is probably, I think I'm gonna try to maybe do sheet metal if I can't get it bent correctly. Then I might have to 3D print this, but pretty close. Right now I'm just doing all of the bases, or the floor of all the ramps. That looks pretty good there. And then it's kind of a view from the flipper. So it's kind of about middle of the flipper. Shoot it straight up there. And then it's also hittable from the other upper flipper. So there's that. We'll create a new body with it. There we go. Nice and clean, and it's up high enough to where a ball can pass underneath it pretty nicely when it goes through that inner orbit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now we're going to kind of start in the process relatively from the beginning for this ramp here on the right. I already did a lot of the work, so I have this sketch here, which is my ramp profiles. So that's kind of the shape of the ramps that I initially wanted. This was based off of my visual pinball table that I made, where I did all the shot geometry with it. So this is kind of what I sketched up with that, and you know, there might be some adjustments I can make to this ramp here to make it fit a little bit better. I can mess around with that later, but essentially I created the shape of the ramp that I want, and then I put a bunch of kind of just random cross sections in here, and then using those cross sections I created a bunch of other sketch planes at varying heights. So 28 millimeters, 14 millimeters, inch and a half, inch and 3/4, 2, 2 1/4, 3, 3 1/2. And on each of those sketch planes, I projected the cross-section geometry for the ramp. So for this right ramp here, I know that, if we go top view, I know that this line here needs to be at the height of one of the guide rails, because I need to be able to let this ball pass behind it. So this projection here is on the 28 millimeter rail height sketch plane, and then when I draw the polyline, that'll allow me to shape it over top of the height that I need, then come back up here. The other reason why I project this geometry down here is because it maintains or gives me reference points for the overall like width and shape. So each of the endpoints on these lines kind of helps guide the polyline or P-line, whatever you want to call it, to fit the shape that I have here. So I'm gonna hide the ends there. Okay. So now I'm going to create my rails. So the goal here, same as the other one, is I'm gonna take that surface there, and I'm gonna give it 2 guide rails to follow, so that it extrudes all the way down to the playfield. So, it took me forever to figure this out, because prior to me knowing this one little thing, I didn't know that you could do a sketch in 3-dimensional space. I thought that all sketches had to be in a 2-dimensional plane, which was giving me the most problems and most headaches, and I was working forever trying to figure out how I was gonna create ramps with 2-dimensional planes, when obviously ramps need to work in a 3-dimensional space. So I was trying to get creative with like, okay, well if I angle a plane between these 3 points, and then project the shape of my ramp to it, and then use that as my guide rail. And that was giving me problems too, because if your plane is at an angle, when you project geometry to it, it projects it from like face down onto that plane, and it never actually 100% lines up with your points. Really easy. Really easy. So, welcome. So the setting that I had to change, and it's hidden in here, as you go up to your account, preferences, and then go to design, and then there's this one little checkbox, allow 3D sketching of lines and splines, and you have to check it. And the second that that's checked, you can then come in here. So I'm going to create a new sketch. I'm going to do it on this plane, which before all of my lines and everything had to be on that plane. And now I'm going to do a fit point spline. Spline. I don't know why I called it polyline, whatever. Doing a spline. And then I'm going to start on, I'm going to do this top rail here. I'm going to start from that point there. And then it helps, now that you're in a 3-dimensional space, there's like 5 billion snap points. So I'm going to turn off visibility on the playfield, so it's a lot easier to snap. So we go to that one, and then here's this one. So there's kind of like that going up. And then I didn't really put any other points in here, just because I'm not sure what kind of angle I want on all of this. Try to get this so I can snatch that one. And then we're going to come in here and end it there. Check. So there's my spline. And you can see, okay, well, it's got somewhat the shape that I want. But let's look up here. It's arcing into the diverter. So what I'm going to do to fix that is escape to get out of the spline mode, and then I'm going to select this this tangent line here, and I'm going to give it a parallel constraint to come in parallel to the edge here. Just like that, it flattens that out so it comes in parallel. Now it's still got like a little bit of a arc to it right here, and I'll fix that later with adjusting things. But then the other one, I toggle playfield visibility again, comes in straight down at an angle, which that'll never work in a ramp. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to select that, same parallel constraint, that. So now we have at least a kind of sweeping curve up and a flat in, or a flat way into the thingy there. Okay, so that's that rail. Shape's kind of close. I'll do some smoothing of the node points to get it more ramp-like. That's close. So now we're going to do the same thing for the rail on the other side. Bit point spline. Start down here again. And then hide the playfield so I can snap points I've made. So there's that one there. There, this side and that there, and finish. And once my computer decides to react, there we go. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab this, give it a parallel constraint to this line here. Then down here at the bottom, going to toggle visibility for the playfield. Then we're going to grab this line and parallel to that line there. Alright, so now you can kind of see with those two rails there, there's roughly the shape of the ramp. It doesn't match 100% what I had drawn up. And if I go to top, you can see like the curves on it aren't quite as much. So what I might do, like, first things first, I'm going to try to delete the coincidental constraints on those points there. And now I'm going to grab one of those, and I'm going to just lower it like I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. So that's really low, but not bad, honestly. Ball should still be able to pass under close to there. Okay. Then I'm going to grab this point here, lower it 1/8 of an inch. Not terrible. Not the nicest. All that good for those 2 points for now. So I think these points here and the constraints on it are kind of dragging that center section down and making it a little wavy, maybe. Gonna be a tough ramp, but try to make it as smooth as possible. Well, grab that point there and play with it. That 1/4 inch up there. I mean, it's getting better. That right side's not bad. Left side. Much. Still got that awkward kind of hump trying to get it over the back here. That's close-ish. So what I might try to do now is add spline points, kind of halfway between, right about where those other cross sections would be. And then we'll do the same on the other spline. There and there. And I'll use those to kind of pull it out and give it more of the shape that I want. A little closer there. There. All right. So what I might do is lower these ones in the front more. That right side's not terrible. The left side's not either. See if I can mess with the tangent line on that a little bit. And tangent line on this one a little bit. Try and make it a little bit more smooth up. I need to figure out, so if I finish the sketch real quick. If I grab this pinball, let's say just kind of rest it against the rail there. Alright, that's enough clearance there, so I have room to lower this other side down more. Closer. A lot of work trying to shape them and make sure that they won't have like a weird hump in the middle or anything crazy like that. Starting to look straighter. Ain't bad. This point back here could go up a little bit. Too much. And same on that side. It's pretty close. All right. So, once it decides to play catch up, there we go. So we're relatively close there. Let's give it a run. Let's see. going to do a sweep. We're going to select a rail. Then select our other guide. It is. I mean, we're a little close on that left side there, but that shot should never really be getting that close to the inside. You should ride that outside rail. Little turnaround thing. I'm gonna just do this as a new body as well. And then I'm going to turn off my sketch, that's my ramp profiles. That up a little bit. Then I can probably turn off all of my sketch point sketches. Actually, doesn't look half bad. Might have a little bit of a dip towards the top there. So I am going to first of all name the sketch as right ramp. Drew. I am working on making ramps, which involves a lot of spline manipulation, which took me forever to figure out. But slowly getting there. The hardest part was trying to figure out how to create a essentially a spline in three-dimensional space, which apparently there's some super secret hidden setting in Fusion 360 that allows you to do that. That's relatively smooth looking. I think that's sufficient. Yeah, they are, but it's the only way that I can do a nice curved ramp that's moving up three-dimensional space. And for the longest time, I was trying to do it because I didn't know that you could do three-dimensional sketches in Fusion. So I was trying to figure out how I could do it using a bunch of two-dimensional planes that I could strategically like angle and get to fit the curve that I want, which was impossible. And then after a little bit of Google searching, which I should have done in the first place, instead of trying to work my way through the frontier with this, pretty easy. There's just a little checkbox in your preferences you have to enable. And then it's all straightforward from there. So I had to like put a bunch of like kind of sketch points on the plane to help figure out like the heights that I want in my ramps at different times. Might be. I don't know. Hold on. Let's move it. Because I know you're wanting to see where Buddy is. There we go. There's the dogs. Now you can see the dogs. He's laying up on his perch on the back of the couch. That's pretty close there. Close enough. Alright. I can turn off the sketch for the rails. And now we have some ramps. This one is still a little funky. Oh, let's just mess around with this one a little bit. Put a point halfway up. Then and round this out a little bit more, maybe. Might look a little better. Let's see. This one needs to pull out. Still needs to come out a little bit. And this one needs to go backwards a little bit. Starting to get there. Maybe backwards just a smidge more. Okay. And maybe this one needs to come forward a little bit. Getting there. That's close. And one's a little funky. Maybe it needs to go a bit. Yeah, smooths that out a little bit. I think that's pretty close. I feel like the ball should be able to ride that pretty well. You want to add one more spline point over here. Then pull this forward a little bit. Let's see how that looks. My computer definitely doesn't like splines. Closer. Now it's starting to like shape up a little bit better. It's a little wavy, but it's pretty close. I'm gonna say that's close enough. I think. The exception of this one. Not a perfect process. Definitely not. Like every time you make one minor adjustment, then Everything else needs to adjust a little bit. And okay. It's definitely not the nicest looking ramp, but I don't expect it to be, because it's a homebrew and it doesn't have to be perfect. Offset option, so you can make one and then copy it over. What would I be copying over? I think we're getting there. The spline. There might be. I just don't know much about fusion and trying to do all this. Now I'm looking at like the ball height. This probably does need to be a bit higher. Make sure we don't lose too much there. That's probably close enough. I'm gonna quit messing with it. I could sit here all day trying to tweak this thing. But it's so close. You know what? It's close enough. Walk away, Kyle. Okay. Turn off those rails. Okay. So now, need to figure out how to do the sidewalls. That's the kind of tough part. Like this one, this ramp here is gonna have to be 3D printed. I don't think there's any way I could make that out of sheet metal. It would be a really tough sell to do that with sheet metal. Swear I'm almost done. Alright. Done. No more touching it. No more touching it. Leave it alone. Okay. This part of a different body is. And delete that one. Can I? Let's just hide it. I don't think I can delete it because I used it to extrude the profile of that ramp. Okay. So now I need to figure out the side rails. So let's start with the craziest one. Why not? Let's save where we're at. And then once it finishes spinning, we are not extruding, we are doing a sketch. We're doing it on that end panel there. And what I should do, change my preferences back to the normal sketching. That way I'm not trying to mess with too much. So we have that. Let's turn off the play field. Alright, so we're going to project the end of that without the link. Actually, I probably should leave the link on there, just in case I manipulate that ramp more later. Probably safe. And then at 90 degree, I'm going to come up 28 millimeters. I'm going to come up 28 millimeters. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Which is the height of the side rails. And we're going to offset that the thickness of our 16 gauge. Set that the same. Close those off. Well, let's just give it a try and see what happens. It's probably not gonna like what I'm trying to do. I'm going to sweep that along that path. And can I use the other line as a guide rail? Inconsistent information in vertex and co-edge attributes. Oh yeah, that makes sense. All of that. What if I just do a single path? Body would intersect itself. By reducing the taper angle or removing regions of high curvature from the profile. I mean, the taper angle is already reduced to 0. Parallel? Path and guide surface. Well, it made it that far. Thanks for following, Joe Danner. Appreciate the follow. Okay, so probably won't let me go any farther. Yeah, I'm trying. It's tough. Tougher than I thought trying to design ramps. That's for sure. Definitely taking a lot of effort. I'm just gonna leave that as new body. And then, of course, it always hides my sketch. We're gonna try to do it again. Sweep. And our path is going to be that rail. And surface would create an illegal surface. It's against the law. I just wanted to be smart enough to do the rails for me. Is that so hard? Alright, here's what I am thinking. I'm gonna try to do that. See if we can get a sweep around, maybe? Nope. So I can definitely build like sidewalls that just go straight up instead of trying to do what I'm doing. That's doable. Then I'll have to build some sort of a cover that goes on the back of that there. Which will be a little difficult, but nothing I can't handle. Let's undo that one. And then we're gonna create a sketch. And we're gonna try to project that geometry. And then from that, I'm gonna kind of build a wall here. And then kind of do the same on the other side here. Kind of like that. And then we will offset. Same on this little arc over here. I'm just gonna make sidewalls that come straight up. I'm not trying to match the curvature of this crazy ass ramp. And then probably need to do something similar over here. Let's do this. I'm gonna draw a ball. Just to make sure. Like that's gonna have to be wider anyways on what I'm doing there, but need to make sure there's room for it to kind of pass through here. I might just bend like a piece of plexiglass over the top of it. For the top, or metal, whatever. Then these walls here, I should be able to extend up. Kind of double usage on them. But kind of like right there. Not a circle. Line. I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, first things first is this portion here has got to be a little bit wider to allow the ball. This one here, kick that out just a little bit wider. Up. And then let's just do this again. Friendly little line. Happy tree. Stainless steel thickness. So now let's extrude these two, starting at top of my ramp, which is playfield, and then we're gonna just go up with them. Should do. Before I do that, is make sure I get the angle I want in here for those. Okay. Then what did I just do? Forgot to hit enter on projection. Okay. I can't move these right now, can I? Not really, okay. So, I want a curve that sweeps in. Did not mean to delete that. Project that line in there. And then we're going to do just a 3-point arc. Just a 3-point arc. Don't have anything special. We're going to do some tangent constraints. Make it tangent to... Apparently that projection won't let me select. That's so annoying. So let's undo projections. And we're going to do those again. As non-linked. One of these times, I'm going to do something right. Everyone's going to be like, whoa, did something right. It's going to be one of these days. Such a pain in the butt. Right. Tangent to that now. That to be tangent to that. But it won't let me. Oops. Whatever. Oh, there's probably good enough. One more. Okay. Getting there. You know what? I just had that selected. Come on. Alright. That's the rail I was trying to create. Okay. Now let's extrude those. Start point is going to be that object there. We're gonna go up, I don't know, inch and a half for now. Two bodies. Okay. Close. I'll have to custom create some guides and stuff to go across the arc. So this is a good foundation. Alright. Create those. And now kind of got to push in some of my polylines again. To make sure we're clear of our close right there. Close enough right there. Okay. I at least have the feed in there. That sketch I can delete. This one we will call the Horcrux ramp. Sides. Close enough. Okay. Next one. I feel like this one I should be able to manage. with the sweep function. Oh, I hate that. Okay. Create a sketch. Alright. We're going to project this end. And then we're going to come up 90 degrees from that. Fat fingers. There we go. Alright. Offset that. Now this one I think I can make out of sheet metal. But I'm either gonna have to like weld these sides onto here or figure out how to project like little tabs that pass through the bottom and then you twist them to lock it in place. Don't quite know how I would want to do that yet. So, we're going to try this again. We're going to do that with this path and this surface. Okay. Kind of funky looking. That's the nature of trying to create ramps. So I'm gonna call that a new body. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. I'm gonna sweep and then select our path and then select our guide surface. Then we're gonna create a new body. I might just try to save myself the problem of sheet metal and figure out how to 3D print this. We'll see. I guess the question is will this even let me convert this body to sheet metal? Let's find out. I'm pretty sure it's not going to let me convert the bottom of the sheet metal. Bodies. Start giving these names. So, right, ramp, left, side. Right ramp, right side. Floor crux ramp, right side. This ramp, left side. Right ramp, bottom. Middle ramp, bottom. Ramp, bottom. Left ramp, bottom. Okay. Let's create component from body. Now, that flange. Create, convert to sheet metal. And calculate body thickness. Select base face of a valid sheet metal body. Typically a wide, flat area. That was my fear. I think I'll be 3D printing. Let me try one more thing. I do extrude. Bring that in, what, ½ inch? And we'll do the same on this one here. Yep, left side. Of course it joined all that together. Either way, let's go down to this one here. Try to convert to sheet metal like that. Aha! Give it a flat spot, and it'll work. So now, if I take a look at this, and create a flat pattern. Oh, dang, it doesn't like it. Oop. Alright, looks like I'm either 3D printing ramps or I am going to be doing some thermoformed. Ah, darn, I was hoping I could do some metal. Okay. Let's go back and undo those extrudes. Probably try to find a way to do this with thermoform. Not much else I can do. So let's do the other ramps after that depressing bit. Is what it is. Okay. We're gonna project this. And we're gonna 28 millimeters. Okay. Offset those. Close it off and make it a face region. That's what I was used to using in CAD. So I'm halfway curious. Let me extend this, see if I can do an extrude on this bottom. Okay, so I can do that. Right ramp bottom. Added this feature. Should be a new body. I don't know why it decided to merge those. Just going to press that left side for now. You know what? I wonder. Ramp bottom, right ramp left side. Weird. Okay. That's just my own stupidity. Never mind me. One of these times, I'm gonna get it right. One of these times. Okay. Now, let's see if I create components from body and convert to sheet metal. Why does it think that it's 0.098 inches? Up here, 0.06. Down here, 0.098. What? Whatever. Guess I really am going to be 3D printing this stuff. Or doing negatives. Ramps are such a pain. Probably won't even let me create a flat pattern. It does it for that? With varying thickness? That's fine, but it won't do my sides. Huh. Okay. So now that I have that, let's push this back. Excuse me. Got it. And then let's see if it updates the flat pattern, or if it throws an error. Yeah. Because there's no flat spot for it. Huh. I don't know what to do with the ramps yet. They might end up just being, unfortunately, thermoformed acrylic or something. Alright, I'm gonna undo the convert to sheet metal. screwed. I'm just gonna make these all components for now. Component. Excuse me. You would think that sweep following path and surface woof. And it's all kinds of funky. I don't really know what to do here. I need just like a vertical piece, and somehow I need to cut that vertical piece. Let's try something. Just confirm this right now. This will be a quick test to see if I can use the surface as a cutting tool. And trim with it. So you're saying offset this up. Offset face, 28 millimeters. Under surface. Offset the ramp up. Trim with it. I'm dumb. I also think I froze Fusion. That could be a possibility. Really thick and use hollow or shell, whatever it's called, to make it only so thick. Well, if my fusion decides to uncrash itself, that might be the next thing I try. I'll have to go back to one of the functions that makes the ramps and make the face taller so it's like a giant square. And then let that sweep the rail. Oh, it unfroze itself, maybe. And unfroze itself. Okay, what was the last ramp that I made? Back, not the back one. Front one. Okay. That one is the left rail, that's the right rail. Okay. We're gonna delete everything up to here. That's all this. Then for this, I'm gonna try. Show the play field. We're gonna press that for now. We're gonna create a sketch. That plane there. Wait, wrong plane. We're going to create a sketch on this plane here. We're going to do that. Then we're going to offset this 28 millimeters up. Yeah, the press pull is funky. I'm gonna try a couple things here. Just offset this in. And offset this in. Okay. Now let's go to unsuppress this. And then edit feature. I gotta slide that sketch forward or back. It's amazing it has to go through so much just to move a sketch back 4 positions. Ah, it takes forever. Yeah, so I did the sweep function. That's a little cleaner, isn't it? So just modify the sweep function to include the walls. At least at that point, it's something a little more 3D printer friendly. Yeah. Sadly, I can't really convert that into sheet metal. It is what it is. I believe if I go into, well, save. If I go into manufacture, move this to a component. This might be what I'm looking for. Full web. Bib, no. There's your shell thingy. Well, we'll go into manufacture. I want to see the somewhere you're able to create like a negative. Negative. Yeah, like a mold. Might be in design. Utilities. Make 3D print. create Lutheran. Excuse me. Nope. Create form. There's form mode. Inserts a form feature in the timeline. Create edit history free bodies. Nope. That's not what I want. Let's see. Fusion 360, 360. Old. Cavity. Lars Christensen. 2018's the newer one.
How are you doing? Welcome to livestream number 158. Is you want to you gotta tick into shrink factor,
older version.
And the other thing is you actually gotta allow for some draft, so this piece can come out.
So I am, since I can't make metal ramps, I'm going to make thermoformed ramps. So I'll build a vacuum table, and I'll heat up some acrylic or plexiglass, wherever it needs to be, and then suck it down over the mold. Buddy in the background. Hey, dog. Draft analysis. See, that looks fancy. I don't know what he did there. Oh. Three degrees is a standard for draft. See, I don't know anything about this. That must be what he was doing back here.
The drop down in the modifier and click draft and kind of do the same thing. We gotta select a plane that draft is going to be pulled from. So that's kind of like the neutral plane right here. So I can click on that. And then I can select the faces. So if I select this face here, that will actually get whatever I put here, 2 degrees. And you can kind of see how it kind of changed there. So that's one way that you can kind of do that. You can flip the direction if you want to, but that's how that works. So this way, I don't know why I won't select all the faces here.
Sorry. Congratulations, it's Friday, and you're watching work stuff.
That might be. Is that a bug? I can only select one face. Isn't it okay? The feature. Oh, that's interesting. I can only select one at a time. Well, that's that's not supposed to work like that, I'm sure. That's one thing to report. So if I hit OK now, you will see that these now have changed from red to blue, and we now have a dedicated feature in here for that. So if I right click and go in and hit edit, I could now also select the other ones. That's interesting. I can't.
Alright, well, he has the same issues with Okay, there's draft. Lies fixed or parting line draft angle to planar faces. I mean, this is obviously the wrong direction, but I'd have to do it from the top, I think. Not taper surface. Well, F me. Either way, I'll figure that out later. I don't need to figure that out now. But I have a ramp there. Congratulations, I have a ramp. Yeah, that is true. So it would need to like flare out towards the bottom of the ramp, right? So from the top, flare out 3 degrees. Whatever happened to the... Yeah, that one. Edit sketch from the base of the walls. So it's gonna be upside down because it's gonna suck down over top, right? So just turn this like this real quick. So that's the sheet of plastic. And then I would need to have tab 87. I'd have to do something kind of like that. So the bottom will flare out. Well, so I'm thinking like if I were to create a negative, let's say this is a chunk of wood, or the profile of a chunk of wood. At 177. That's so annoying. Either way. So let's just say this is 3 degrees right here. This profile right here would be like my carved out wood that sits on the vacuum table, and then I would suck the plastic down over top of it at those 3-degree angles. Okay. It's kind of what I thought. So I could just use the same extrude or sweep feature to create my negative, or whatever you want to call it. And then throw that on the table. It would have to be some pretty thick wood I'd have to carve down. like inch and a half. Alright, what doesn't it like over here? Manage lost projections. One. Alright, I'm just gonna break the link. Okay. I think I'm headed down the right path. Thank you for the work info. Okay, so alright, that's what I would do for that. And then I would create a separate solid. And that would be a negative. Okay. Well, I got the walls done for that one. I could probably even come back and redo the walls for this funky one. If I wanted to. I don't know how far I want to go. That'll work. Dog. His ear poking out. Okay, what was I gonna mess with? Right ramp profile, I was gonna mess with this right ramp shape a little bit. Or middle ramp. Middle ramp rails. Okay, so I have a point there. Add a point here. Wrong one. Let's hide this pop bumper, get out of the way. Bit closer. didn't I just all that stuff around? Not what I want to do there. This one, right there. Moved you. And come on, computer. Come on. You can do it, computer. Why does it have such a hard time? It's so annoying. I want to do that. Yeah, it's getting better. A little bit at a time. Alright, shape of that's better. And this probably needs to drop down just a little bit. Get a shorter stud for that one. Close enough there. What I should try to do is do the sidewalls on the other ramps. Well, I still have a little bit of motivation. So I need to essentially create drawings on each of those. And then let's offset that 28 millimeters. And then offset that in. Offset that in. Okay. Alright, so there's another kind of ramp profile thing. And then we're going to drag that sketch before that one. We're gonna let it sit here and calculate for 5 hours again. Good music though. Preparing for compute. All I'm doing is picking up a sketch and moving it in the timeline. And it's just like, nuh-uh-uh. Man, I need like a pizza or something. Something tasty. I don't know what though. Okay, sketch 108 and sketch 109. Failed to get target occurrence transform. Huh? Hey! Thanks for following Shellschlock. It's a fun one. Shellschlock. We are working on, by we I mean me. I am working on my homebrew pinball machine, Harry Potter Pinball. And trying to figure out how I can move a sketch in the timeline without screwing everything up. My sketch. Let's Go before that. I want it there. Okay. That worked fine that time. Why couldn't it just do that the first time? Alright, so I'm going to change profile. That. It's really funky looking, but I honestly don't care why it's going all haywire like that. Whatever. Perpendicular, full extents. Scale. Done. Huh. That looks better. Oh, but it. Oh. Nope. Stretch? How's stretch? Stretch looks alright. Stretch looks fine. Plenty fine. Okay. We're gonna do that. Now I'm curious on this one. I do that to stretch. Oh, that looks far better too. So that's why my thickness was getting funky on me. And I can't do that because that's bad. Because I need it to get wider at the base. And since I couldn't get the loft feature to work correctly, stretch is just fine. I'll still be able to create a nice mold from that. Okay. Starting to resemble a little bit more here. Excuse me. Yeah. I like it. Now, do one more. Sketch 109. I'm gonna make that the middle ramp profile. Sketch 108. Where did it put sketch 108 then? Did I like put it back at the beginning? Yeah, how far back I put it? Ugh. I like... Just gonna... why? Just let me scroll right. We're gonna try to get it back to where it should be. Without letting go of the clicky button. Requires precision middle finger rollage. It's probably gonna break it. Because Fusion doesn't like when I do things. Or it didn't do anything at all. Oh cool. So cool. Whatever. It's good enough where it's at. We're gonna call this right ramp profile. And we're gonna hide that. And then hide that. I'm gonna create a sketch there. I'm gonna project the surface like that. We're gonna come up 28 millimeters. Actually, I should just offset 28 millimeters. That. We're gonna offset for our side rails. And we're gonna offset for our side rails. 16th. What does this look like? As not much difference. Okay, cool. And then going to break this line here, here. Whoa. Let's not say we did. Okay. We're just gonna draw construction lines there to close that out. Then just kind of roughly draw some lines in here for the cavity or mold or whatever you want to call it. Then let's extend those down. Then that should be there. Yeah. Then just give that 1/4 inch there. I'll have to like lay a couple pieces of MDF together or something like that. So that would be kind of my cavity mold thing. Curious. Let's try that on this one. And that one there. I don't know what I just decided to do. All I did was to select a thingy. I selected a thingy and it decided I'm gonna sit here and spin for an hour. Circular dependency found from what? I don't know what just happened. Somehow I reordered features. Whatever. Okay. But now I'm purposefully going to reorder features. Okay. Let me do it. What we're gonna do. Profile. And we're going to stretch. Enough. Now let's see. Gotta redo the Horcrux ramp still. Go find that sketch. We're gonna call this left ramp profile. And do a sweep on our cavity. And path and guide rail. Path. Guide rail. Yeah. Stretch. Oh. On. New body. And stretch. Why is it so low in the middle there, though? Or it's not. It's my imagination. Okay. We're gonna call that the left ramp mold. Left ramp mold. And we're gonna create components here. Now that our ramps are looking good. Except for the Horcrux ramp. And let's take a look at that. Oh yeah. So there's what I would need as to do like a vacuum form. Yeah. Cool. And hide that for now. And we'll go back to activate our whole project. So much scrolling. Okay. So I am done with that left ramp profile. The middle ramp profile. Well, first let's save before it decides to break itself. Okay. Let's edit this sketch. And we're going to kind of draft that negative in here as well. Okay. Dimension between that is 3 degrees. That is extend and then offset that 1/4 inch. Okay, sketch. Then middle profile. We're gonna do the same loft-a-majig or sweep-a-majig. That path being that, guide rail being that. Okay. Excuse me. And what did I have to do last time? Operation, new body. Scratch. Close, close enough. I'll take it. Okay. Then that's right. It's all the way up here. Right ramp. Right ramp. Profile. Okay. Going to do the same thing. Do a 3-degree angle. Coming down here. Here. And 3. And Lord, how are there so many things to trim here? Okay. Offset that. 1/4 inch. Okay. Let's see what we broke this time. Ah, there's so much waiting. Used to run a lot faster when I was starting out, but now there's so much crap in this. Okay. Do this one more sweep. With the path being that outside edge, and the guide rail being this outside edge. Give it a second to decide it needs to error. Okay, now change it to new body. Oh, look. Magically, there's our new body. Alright, so this one is going to be middle ramp mold. This one is going to be right ramp mold. And those can go to be components. Okay. Really don't need to see those right now. Okay. Do I dare? Do I even try? Why not? Right? Sketch. We're gonna hide the playfield because I can't see anything. I don't recall. Before I do all this. Feature profile am I using? Profile up there. Okay. I'm going to create my sketch on this profile up here. And project. Offset. That in. And offset that in. Create our 3-degree. Set it. Why did it? Oh, it's froze again. No, it's not froze. Well, let me select that dimension. Oh, okay. I did it. I did it. Okay. Let's offset this. Hate that. Offset the source object. No. Okay. That. Trim out the middle. Alright. There's our... Nope, not yet. Alright. Now there's that. What in the world is this song? Okay. So there's our sketch. And we want to move that sketch right before that happens. It just move. It just moved something weird. I don't get it. I don't know what it's doing. It's like, hey, how can we screw you up the most ways possible? Let's do that. Now it has to sit there and recalculate everything from the beginning of time. So cool. Don't get me wrong, Fusion 360 is awesome. You can do a lot of sweet stuff with it. A lot of useful functionality. But moments like this are so frustrating. So fun. No. I design everything in this file. So many components. There's probably a smart way to do this. Undo reorder features. You're probably supposed to create, like every single thing you make is probably supposed to go in its own file. And somehow you create it referencing this file while you design it, but you save it to its own file. That's probably the smart way. Sketch 111. I'm not asking much here. All I want to do is reorder that sketch back about 10 spots in the timeline. Do you even see how jumbled and messy my timeline is? In my defense, there's not... Mostly everything is clean, like it's not throwing warnings yellow and red. So everything is there for a reason. I just, you know, brand new program to me, and how my workflow should go, I don't quite know. I just kind of build everything in here. Oh yeah. Cool. Undo, reorder features. Thought I did it right this time, but maybe not. Excuse me. So instead, we're just gonna reloft it. or re-sweep it. We're gonna do a clean sweep. Because I'm tired of messing around. What is this one? Excuse me. We're going to suppress that feature. And by doing so, it suppress everything else. That's fine. Whatever. Oh, it even suppressed my drawing. Yeah. Here we go. And then I need to go find the Horcrux ramp sketch. Okay. That. And then sweep. Path. Pad rail. New body. Stretch. Look at how ugly that is. It's beautiful. Excuse me. It loves it. It's like, this is the best thing I've ever had to try to loft. I love it. Full extents? Nope. Perpendicular to path is what that is. Scale? Nope. Huh. Well, now we know. Now we know. This is gonna have to be the one freak ramp out of everything. Where I just kind of have the bottom, which maybe if I'm lucky, it'll let me kind of... I don't think it will. Let me do a flat pattern of that. Excuse me again. Let's do that. And then it just tied two together. Of course it did. We're going to try to convert this to sheet metal. Component. Sheet metal. That pattern. Okay, that did not work. How is that a flat pattern? Tell me, how is that a flat pattern? There's nothing flat about that. There's a cool look at the ramp. Yeah, this one's gonna be tough. Can your 3D printer print something like this? I mean, it'd have to put a lot of crap underneath it to build it up, but might be doable. Should just try to go about this a different way for this one. Huh. Okay, well, let's save where I'm at. It should fit. It's only like 3 or 4 inches tall, like 5 by 5, and I think you got a Prusa, right? But before we go down that road, we'll try something crazy. Okay. Then sketch on it. And project. Thinking I might be able to create a like a sheet metal flat for this, maybe. Okay. Um, heck kind of a projection is that? Whatever. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Feel like I'm making progress. Definitely not. Doesn't look right, but whatever. I think if I can do something like that, and then somehow curve into it and do like curve up, that might work. Excuse me. If I could get that, I could figure out how I can get the projection of the play field where it intersects, that'd be nice. That ain't doing it. Well, I know what I'm trying to do. I think it's doable. I think what I need to do that back on. Need to project that. Um, let's try. Honestly, don't know what I'm trying. Ugh. Think I'm heading down the right path. We're getting there. Just my brain has kind of stopped functioning. Get a little bit different angle. Points. Then I want to offset from there. That angle's a little too steep. Darn it. Well, I'm going to kind of save and pick up tomorrow and see what I can do. We're gonna do that. If you've hung around this long and watched me struggle using Fusion 360, thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Let's find somewhere to raid. Go to Dave's Arcade. Playing Flintstones. Dave's Arcade. Spelling's right. Alright, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. It says the raid has been created, but I don't see it. There we go. Okay. Cool. Thanks for hanging out. I'll try to stream more often and keep progress updated. So have a good one.